Hour. And this is presented by Rob Carrera. He is our current Club Growth Director. And we're going to have an engaging discussion on how to grow our clubs. So let's get this started and take it away, Rob.
All right. Thank you, Wanda. As Wanda said, this is going to be a presentation on club growth tactics. Now, a lot of what you see is going to be available later. District Director Jessica Coder is going to, she shared this with us before, but there is I believe it's on a Word document of club growth tactics, and really the meat and potatoes of this presentation is sampled from that. So there will be some slides where there's links and attributions as far as who made that available, and so those links will all be available later. So this is going to be an interactive presentation. I'm going to ask for some participation, and Jessica, District Director Jessica, as she likes to be called, she's going to help out in a couple spots as well. She's agreed to help out. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to break it down to two essential parts, and that's growing club strength and growing membership numbers. Growing club strength, what does it look like? All right, quality meetings, encouraging active engagement from members, encourage hitting educational goals, onboarding new members properly, coaches, quality meetings. By a show of hands, I'll ask you, do you have good meetings? And I'm going to wait until I see some hands. Okay. I think most people, definitely, maybe, right? We think that we have good meetings. But what does a quality meeting look like? Now, this is some actual legitimate interaction here. I want a hand raised by somebody, and one of the crowd, one of the participants, one of the not PQD or district director, and tell me, what does a quality meeting look like to you? All right, then anybody now.
You have Cynthia. Cynthia raised her hand, and
Perfect. I didn't
then
see
and
it.
then Gary after her.
Oh, perfect. Okay, please call those out because I can't see them with my
Okay.
presentation apparently.
I did too.
Cynthia, please tell us, what does a quality meeting look like?
You're muted, Cynthia.
All right.
And
Oh, there's Claire.
Gary, it has his hand up, and then Claire, and then
Okay,
we'll circle back to Cynthia.
sounds good. Go ahead, Gary.
Well, I'm kind of glad it went to me because that way I don't have to repeat what Cynthia was going to say. But no, a quality meeting it starts on time. A quality meeting starts on time and follows the agenda to do so. So I have to applaud our meetings for always starting on time and ending on time because time is precious.
Okay, nice. Take that. How about you, Claire?
A lot of meetings that I consider quality would have a topic or a theme to more fully engage the members.
Absolutely. Cynthia?
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my phone. What's wrong with my phone? But anyway, a quality meeting means to me is that we're ready, we're prepped, we're ready to go. We're not playing around and goofing off and saying, "Oh, who's going to take this? Who's going to do that?" And we are ready to do our Toastmasters duties without having to take 5 minutes to do X, Y, and Z when X, Y, and Z should have been done before the meeting started.
Yeah. No, those are all great. And those are basically I think those are the basics and the tenets of a meeting. And so here's some extra ones, like Claire mentioned this very first one, have a hook or a theme for each meeting. Consider why people want to come to the meeting. What's in it for them? Now, I know not all clubs, and that's the great thing about being the different Toastmasters clubs. And if you've ever been an area director, you'll find out that even though Toastmasters generally follows a general agenda and we all do the same things, we all kind of do something different too. That's the one thing that occurred to me when I attended these meetings as an area director, is everybody does something a little different. Now, my Toastmasters OPPD club, we ask a question of the day at the start of every meeting to help members get to know each other and engage everyone in the meeting. You can see down below, it says you can have each person respond with the question of the day as they're introduced their meeting role. What we do is we have everyone introduce themselves, and in this particular one, because OPPD is a corporate club, and introduce who they are and what they do for OPPD. But it really can be anything. It's an opportunity to get to know one another. And every time you do it, you get to know your Toastmasters a little bit better. So I'm going to ask a question of the day. What is your favorite thing to do on a snowy day? Introduce yourself and then answer the question. And raise your hand, and I can't see it, so if somebody sees a hand, please call it out. Andrea.
I live in Florida, so I have very, very few snowy days, but we had our first one January of last year since I was born and raised in Florida. I'm 51, so that's how long it was. But just to stop and watch the snow and the peace that surrounds it, I can see myself doing that a lot more if I actually lived in a snowy place.
Nice. Gary?
I like just staying in bed and just cozying it up, or watching some kind of binge watching something on television and not doing anything. So, or reading a book, reading a book or journaling. That's another one I'll do. Sometimes when I'm just reflective and silent, I'll journal, read a book, or watch something on television and do nothing and just watch the snow come down. Love it. And I'm from the West Coast, so I really love it.
One more, Laura.
I like to curl up with a warm drink, whether it's hot cocoa or apple cider or tea, and a good book with near a window so I can watch the snow come down, but curled up and warm.
Perfect. All great answers. And the question of the day gives everyone an opportunity to participate in the meeting, even if you don't have a role. Something else that you might consider is including a quiz master, a joke master, thought of the day, a motivational moment to get members involved in and gradually introduce new members to take on meeting roles. And our OPPD club, we call this our invocator. Okay, we have an invocation where maybe it's an inspirational quote, or maybe a prayer, or something to get the meeting started in a positive way. Having a joint meeting with another club to flesh out roles in the meeting. So maybe your club doesn't have as strong as membership, but if you have a joint meeting that gives you an opportunity to fill those roles, maybe you got a club where you're doing multiple roles, or you're doing the same role over and over again. And it also gives you an opportunity to network a little bit. We had a joint meeting recently. I'm involved. I'm involved, but I'm also a member with OPPD Toastmasters Club and Exarban Toastmasters Club. So we had Exarban, OPPD, and we had Pacific Whale Life Talkers. So everyone took a role from those three clubs, and it was an opportunity to see how they kind of do things and how they fulfill those roles, but also to get to know each other. And then be creative with table topics. Table topics is my favorite part of the meeting, so it's my favorite role. And going to the next slide, here's a joke of the day. A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." I don't care who you are. That's funny. All right. And here's a sample of my table topic. Before the court today is Mr. R.B. Giant. He alleges that Mr. Jack Farmboy illegally entered his property, stole his golden goose, and when Mr. Giant gave chase, cut down the beanstalk in which he was climbing down, causing him to fall. He is suing to get his golden goose back and for pain and suffering. Jack claims he owned the beanstalk and everything that grew out of it. You are the judge. How do you see this case, and how do you ultimately decide? 1 to 2 minutes, table topics. I like to go to nursery rhymes or anything that you can think of outside the box. Regular table topics are fun, but if you want to change it up a little bit, you really have a lot of ability to have a lot of fun. And here's one more. What is this and why do I need one? Okay, this object is a Roman artifact that is over 2,000 years old. There are theories about it, what it is, and what it was used for, but no one really knows exactly what it is except for you. Tell me what it is and why do I need it? Why do I need 1, 2, 100? Sell me on it. Just 2 examples of table topics. What are some other things that make a good quality meeting? And I'll ask for hands again. Does anybody have, I know you already mentioned, a good quality meeting starting on time when it's whenever your meeting is, if it's 6 o'clock, if it's 12 o'clock, you're ready to go, you have your agenda ready, you have all the rules filled. I'm open for one more if there's hands. If not, I'll move on. See a hand. I see Sue. All right, start with Claire.
Make sure that all the agendas, evaluation forms, peer-to-peer forms, any paperwork that you might need to use, has it been sent out to members? Is it available in the room if it's an in-person or hybrid?
Perfect. Andrea, did you have your hand up?
I did. I am a connection person. So when you get to know someone and you make that connection during the meeting, especially their speech and the great impassioned speech where they believe what they say, I just love that portion of the meeting.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Gary?
And and I have to regulate this sometime, but I'm kind of a little bit of a taskmaster. So I want to make sure that I'm accomplishing my goal. And I think a good meeting is reflective of that everyone sees their opportunity to be engaged in the meeting as a speech opportunity and sees how they're accomplishing their goals. So I think that makes for a really good meeting. A good quality meeting is to walk away from that knowing that I was able to accomplish my pathway and or speech goals.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, next, member engagement. Stay motivated, engaged. All right. Personally reach out to members who haven't attended in a while or have decreased their participation. Open a dialogue with empathy, ask about their initial goals in joining Toastmasters, and inquire about their current needs. So be a good listener. If somebody hasn't been to a meeting in a while or they haven't been participating, don't be judgmental, but try to find out why they haven't been and try to be supportive and help them to maybe take on a role or come back to meetings. The reality is we're all Toastmasters and we're all trying to get something out of it, right? There's something in it for us, but then we also, all of us have something going on in our lives and life happens, and that's how it is. So be empathetic. Encourage active members to take on new levels of leadership. You've been an active member of the club. Would you be willing to serve as a club officer in the upcoming program year as public relations secretary or sergeant of arms? You've been a wonderful club officer. Would you be willing to serve a second year as VP of membership or education? We appreciate everything you've done in your single role VPE, VPM. Would you be willing to serve as president? Remember the 3 R's: recruit, retain, recognize members. Educational goals. Now, Pam covered a lot of this, or not a lot of this, but just about the enhancements and what's new in Toastmasters. Just to cover it though, have someone talk to your club, whether they're within your club or bring somebody in, like I mentioned Jessica or Wanda, talk about pathways, or Pam, engaging members in pathways and help them with retention, and shows new members how Toastmasters can directly benefit them. So having a purpose in being in pathways and making sure that you're progressing in pathways, it really does give you purpose and gives you a reason why you're there, to get better. Give regular updates about pathways progress, celebrate educational accomplishments within your club. New member onboarding. Make it normal that a new member gives their icebreaker soon. You can say to your new member, would you like to give your icebreaker next week, or would you rather do it the week after? If they hesitate, offer to help them put the speech together. So many times, depending on how often you meet, if you meet every week or every 2 weeks or every month, that time really does get away from you. Next thing you know, you'll be a Toastmaster for 6 months or 7 months, and you haven't given your icebreaker speech. So sooner than later is better. Assign every member a mentor if they would like one. Consider providing a Toastmaster membership pin or a welcome ribbon to everyone who joins. All right, now we're going to talk about coaches. Okay, I'm going to give the dictionary definition of coaches regarding Toastmasters, and then Jessica's going to talk a little bit more about it. Toastmaster coaches assist struggling clubs in improving membership, morale, and performance, providing guidance, developing success plans, and motivating members. These coaches are experienced members who meet specific criteria, such as being a paid member for at least a year and not being a member of the club they are coaching. Coaching appointments are for a set term, and successful coaches may receive education credit towards the Distinguished Toastmaster TTM Award. Jessica, can you explain what it means to be a coach and why would we want to coach a little bit better?
Yes, absolutely. So this is based on the formal coaching program that Toastmasters International provides. And it's really designed to both give you as a member an opportunity to enhance your leadership skills by serving as a coach. And it also gives a club an opportunity to get a new perspective, get someone from the outside to come in and work with them, not to do the work for them, but as it says, to help them come up with a plan. So if a club is struggling to come up with a success plan, or maybe they wrote their club success plan, but they're not really executing on it, a coach is a wonderful option to help them help themselves. Now, the formal coaching program that has the credit towards the Distinguished Toastmaster Award that's mentioned there, that requires the club to become distinguished that you serve, and it also requires you to serve for at least 6 months. So that means that if you or anyone you know might be interested in that formal coaching appointment that gets credit towards the DTM, you need to tell us as soon as possible, because to get credit this program year, you need to be appointed by the end of December. But even if you don't get appointed as an official coach, I would still encourage anyone who's interested in helping another club to reach out to me, Wanda, Rob, if you know your area or division director, because there are plenty of clubs that need that more informal help. You don't have to be a formally appointed coach to help another club. It's just that if you are the formally appointed coach, you get that bonus of credit towards the Distinguished Toastmaster Award.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. All right. Second part of the equation, growing membership numbers. All right. So I have 4 bullets for this: guest, connection, and follow-up, marketing, promotion, direct recruitment and new members, special event ideas. Use the new prospective member management system. Respond promptly to requests from Find a Club. Is your Find a Club up to date? Now, I'd like you to take a look at the slide to the left, and you decide whether or not that's current or not, or if that's been on the website for a little while. You notice they have a word of the day there as well. So I'll let you read that. So once you invite guests, always ask guests to join. Have a guest overview document and share with guests. This is what a club meeting is going to look like. This is what to expect. Reach out to guests via an email or phone call. Call preferred, so they can ask questions. There can be some back and forth. Assume the sale. Give guests a choice of 2 yeses. I invite you to join today. I invite you to join today. Did you want to go ahead and do that now? Or do you want to connect with Jane or Gary and go over your questions about joining? All right. So guest connection and follow-up, prospective management, member management, prospective member management. All right. So this is, you can see, this is toastmasters.org. And if you're an officer, you can get here. All right. Go to Club Central. You can see you have member management, and you have prospective member management. You're going to click on the prospective member management. And then this will come up here. Now, we did have, this was for Exarban Toastmasters. Now, if you have multiple clubs, you're going to pick the club that, you want to, well, you can check them both, but in this one, it was Exarban Toastmasters, and there was one person who we got back to and did join one of our last meeting. So it's important to not let these things linger. If somebody is reaching out, they want to know more information, so it's in your best interest to get back to them sooner than later. Marketing and promotion. Create a Google business profile. Use search engine optimization to increase the number of visitors to club websites. Create a YouTube channel for posting promos and or speeches. Now, the district has one, and that's Jessica Coder is YouTube famous. We have the District 24 if you want to check it out and you Google her. She's all over that. She updates it every once in a while. I think I'm your biggest fan though. I think I've been to the website quite a bit. I watch a lot of videos. I think I'm even in one. Create a LinkedIn page. Explore club membership approved promos. Create a blog or podcast. Doing so is a pathway project. Send out previous meeting recaps with each reminder for the next meeting to your next club's email list. Keep members engaged, and those who are on the list but aren't members who don't attend meetings, they might be tempted to see what they're missing. Corporate clubs should leverage internal communication mechanisms at their company and find a champion in the company who can help promote the group. Now, I would submit to you, and I feel confident in saying so. I think a lot of our clubs have more than one champions. We have multiple champions. So even when your club is small, I feel like as long as you have those strong core members, those champions, you're going to be great. Remember, when you invite someone to join Toastmasters, you're giving them the gift of growth and self-improvement. And this is direct recruitment of new members. Wear an Ask Me About Toastmasters button. Now, I don't have that, but I do have my Toastmasters shirt on. Make small talk with those you meet, and when they notice the button, they will ask you about Toastmasters. Invite friends, family, coworkers, and former club members. Recruit from local government officials and political parties. Improving public speaking can improve their careers and candidacy. Look for accountants, financial planners, insurance brokers, tax consultants, real estate agents, and others who may need to market their services. Start with those whose services you have used. So most of us have used, a real estate agent, or a lot of us have, or an accountant, etc. But really, anybody can be invited to a Toastmasters meeting and check it out and see what it's all about. Encourage members to strive to earn recognitions in Toastmasters. Special event ideas. Lunch and learn and educational sessions to share presentation tips and how Toastmasters can help develop communication skills. Now, with our OPBD Toastmaster Club, we've done this, I think at least a few times since I've been a Toastmaster, and each time we've gotten a bump in membership. Now, at the bottom, you'll see open houses don't be afraid to have more than once a year. So a lot of times these open houses are successful for membership, but we always feel like, yeah, we don't want to have more than one a year. You know, you can have 2 or 3. You can have special events. I don't think there's any kind of rule that says you can't. So, and especially if you see a membership bump. Youth leadership programs to get people involved prior to being old enough to officially join a club. And then here's a link to the Better Speaker series that has ideas for topics. Like I said before, this will be made available and those links will be made available. Speechathons, Wanda mentioned those earlier, and I know Jessica has talked about these as well, where there are a lot of speeches and they can be fun change of pace for clubs that have several members. And especially, you invite visitors. Anytime that you can bring a little bit of fun, and that's what I love about Toastmasters in general. They are fun, and there's so many opportunities to interject that. So once again, not to overuse the word fun social events like escape rooms, picnics, or holiday parties that aren't Toastmasters meeting, but at which Toastmasters is mentioned. A backwards meeting where evaluations happen first and speeches happen last. The speakers try to match their speeches to what the evaluators say they did. Now, we did try one of these, and I know Diane Erickson and Gary Floyd are both on the meeting, and it's a lot more challenging than you might think, but it can be a lot of fun. So I made the meeting agenda, so I gotta have a lot of freedom to kind of make things happen the way I wanted them to. Oh, Gary's got the thumbs down. He wasn't a fan of it. He wasn't a fan of the backwards meetings, but I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not super comfortable when you're trying to. He gave a speech that day, so it's a little out of the box, but it can make things more interesting, and you definitely are more engaged. And so the last one on the list is Speechcraft, and so I'm going to invite once again, as she likes to be called, District Director Jessica Coder to talk about Speechcraft.
Thanks, Rob. Rob likes to make things up. He's very creative. So Speechcraft is a program that you can run for your club that is essentially Toastmasters as a class. So it has a fixed start date and an end date, and people can come to Speechcraft to get some of the benefits of Toastmasters without a long-term commitment. But often what happens is people, oh, look, he has a slide for me. People come to Speechcraft and they enjoy it so much that then they join the club. What's the extra bonus about Speechcraft is just like being an official coach. If you run the Speechcraft session as a facilitator, that also gives you credit towards the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. So in fact, there are if you do a Speechcraft and you also coach a club, those two are separate items towards your Distinguished Toastmaster Award. And I'll be honest, I have not run a Speechcraft. Actually, I haven't run a Speechcraft ever. I haven't helped with a Speechcraft in quite some time. But that is one of the things that I really would like to do in Pathways is run a Speechcraft program, because we've had great success with this in my club. Rail Talkers, when we used to do this, we would have classes of 6 to 8 people, and we would usually get 2 new members from every class. So it was very successful in our experience. Is there anything else you wanted me to say, Rob?
No, not necessarily. I got involved in one Speechcraft with we're called the Exarban Toastmasters now, but we were called Blue Owl Busters when this was happening. And it is interesting. It's a kind of a faster pace. You're kind of introducing things a little more quick, but it definitely does add to engagement. So it did help boost the membership numbers at the time. Okay, so my presentation is going much faster than Pam's. So, but we have a few more slides. And then I'm going to turn it over to Jessica again to update us with some things. All right. So we talked about the Quizmaster earlier. Okay, and this is my Quizmaster guy. And so we're going to ask you some questions about what we talked about. When you have a member whose participation has decreased or hasn't attended a meeting for a while, what are your options for reversing that trend? A, vote them off the island. B, deliver a speech about absentee Toastmasters. C, open a dialogue with empathy, discuss goals and how you can support them. Or D, all of the above. I'm waiting for an answer.
You've got lots of C's in the chat, except for
Okay.
Gary thinks you should vote them off the island.
Lots for C. Okay. All right. And you're right. It is C. Open a dialogue with empathy. Ask about their initial goals in joining Toastmasters and if those have changed. Inquire about their current needs and how the club can support them. Remember, the key is to listen, not to pressure, not to judge. Life happens, but you want to take advantage of the Toastmaster opportunity that you signed up for. Mr. Quizmaster has another one. Oh, Evelyn.
You know, I was thinking a few years ago, why not speak? We like to shake it up a little bit when we have our meetings. And I had forgotten, years ago, we did something where everyone who came to the meeting had to be prepared to do everything on the agenda because the agenda was not completed until you showed up. You pulled your role out as you came into the meeting. And that's a fun way to, ensure that everybody learns how to do the various roles, but it also will get someone who has not done a speech, it will get them to prepare a speech because they don't know if they're not going to choose to be a speaker at that meeting. So that's just another option that a club can do as well.
Absolutely. I talked about being an area director, and there were several clubs that did that. And I like it as a way to change things up. But I know some clubs, they do that every time. They either fill the roles at the end of the current meeting. They're like, okay, well, who wants to do this next week? Or as soon as the meeting starts, they're like, who wants to do this? Who wants to do that? So it's definitely a change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
I like having those agenda roles filled usually early, but at the same time, it can definitely change things up. All right. Next quiz. I'm sure you saw this one. I left it up for a little while, but according to the answer given on the Jack v. Giant toast, oh, you know what? Hold on. We need to go back because I need somebody to answer my Toastmaster question for me. Before I ask this one, I want somebody to answer my Toastmaster or my table topics question. So the question was, the Giant is suing for damages because he alleges Jack chopped down his beanstalk and he's suing for damages. What happened? Hold on, I'm going back. My apologies to everyone. All right. He's suing to get his golden goose back and for pain and suffering. Jack claims he owned the beanstalk and everything that grew out of it. You were the judge. How do you see this case, and how do you ultimately decide? And I just need someone to answer the question for me. Anybody want to take a stab at it?
So you're gonna go back to the options?
Nope. You tell me.
Well, certainly the goose and the egg didn't grow out of the beanstalk, so Jack's going down. He owes He owes the Giants some money. He's not going to win that case.
Okay. Now, my apologies for not answering, for letting you answer that in the first place. Jessica answered this one in full. All right. According to the answer given on the Jack, you just heard it. So Jack was fined to obtain his beanstalks illegally and had no claim to the beanstalk and had to pay damages. Jack was found to have been the rightful owner of the beanstalk and had sprouted from it. Case dismissed. Jack and the Giant were found to have staged the whole event and conspired to defraud the insurance company, as the Giant had taken out a $20 million policy on himself against personal injury. And Gary said he went down. He had to pay the damages. All right, next quiz. In the Find a Club picture, what was the word of the day?
Centurion.
There you go. Centurion was correct. Okay, so with regards to club growth, it's really a multifaceted thing. And the one thing that we need to know as Toastmasters is that we really are a village. So we have our club and we have our resources, our club officers and our other members to lean on, but we also have our district leadership and we have our area directors. We have a lot of folks that we can utilize as resources. So when we're talking about growing our clubs, really it's a collective effort. So, and that'll be the conclusion of my presentation. Once again, I apologize. That would have worked a whole lot better if I had asked that table topics question before, Gary. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jessica, to make any announcements regarding future training, etc.
Sure. Well, since we have some time, I do think if any others, like Evelyn shared an additional idea, I've heard that called rolls from a hat, where you just draw the rolls before the meeting. So I think it'd be great if others have other suggestions. I, for myself, will put in a plug for the Google Business profile. That was on one of the slides. Not many clubs are using that, but the clubs that do get people who Google. It's best for people that already have some familiarity with Toastmasters, because what happens is someone will Google Toastmasters and then 3 clubs in Omaha pop up and they think those are the only 3 clubs in Omaha, and we're the ones getting the visitors who are Googling for Toastmasters. So I if you have a physical meeting space and you're open, definitely look into Google Business Profile, and I've set it up before. I can help. Keith Jones has done it more recently, so we can help. All right, and I see Cynthia's hand.
All right, well, thank you. Why not speak? We like to rock and we like to roll. We like to have fun. And we do the 5th Thursday of the month game night. And we laugh. We sometimes fall out the seat. We just have a good time. It helps us to relieve all the tension that has transpired. And we can't wait to the next one, which will be in January. So think about Why Not Speak. Come and see us.
Yeah, absolutely. I won the trivia
Yes.
game night a few months ago. It was
Yep.
fun.
And I haven't forgotten you.
I know. All right, I see Nancy.
I'd just like to mention, Robert, one of the greatest ways to grow any organization is by word of mouth, and to train and encourage club members to talk about all the great things and the reasons they're enjoying the meetings, which is another good reason to make sure your meetings are remaining engaged, everyone engaged, every meeting engaged. I just wanted to add my 2 cents. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's still the best way to grow a club is by word of mouth, by bringing that one-on-one, bringing that person in. And I'm glad that you elaborated on the Google, Jessica. Tom Nowak swears by it as well. And according to Jessica, and Tom Nowak, they get so many visitors, and it's an ebb and flow with Toastmasters. Some people come in, they get what they want out of it and they go up, but the visitors have been up on the clubs that have used the Google Business account. And I know we have, OPPD is a corporate club, but the Exarban Toastmasters, we're in the process of doing it ourselves. So it's a great club growth strategy. Any other suggestions?
I was just gonna say it's try multiple things. Like it's not Google Business or invite people
right.
directly. It's both. Like Google Business gets the people that you don't already know, and talking to the people you know about Toastmasters gets the people you do already know. So remember that too. It's not just you do one thing and that's it. You need to try lots of different things.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a collection of strategies and tactics. If we don't have anybody else who wants to offer a suggestion, Jessica, did you want to plug a couple things?
Well, I will remind you all, since we had that slide about special events, we currently have a challenge from the trio to all of you to host your best holiday meeting. So you can not only get new members by hosting an awesome holiday themed meeting, but you can also win some prizes. There's not a really fixed defined prize because we're going to let the club choose from a few different options. There's some table topics cards, there's some leadership books. So there'll be a choice for the club to make on what they would like for the prize. But we would encourage you to host that meeting, take pictures, do a write-up, even record a video, and you can tell us about it at our trio email address, top3@d24tm.org. So far, we have no submissions. And guess what? If we get one submission, that submission will win by default. So don't let it go by with no submissions. We need at least one submission because we want to give out the prize and we want everyone to have fun hosting their holiday themed meetings. I know 2 of my 3 clubs are doing something for the holidays. So if nothing else, I'll submit to my own contest.
We know
That's
you
really
have
all I
those
had.
holiday meetings.
Yes. I think Wanda, do you want to? I don't have anything else unless I'm forgetting something that Rob is expecting me to say.
Oh, no, maybe it's Wanda. I'm sorry. I thought.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Wanda.
It's a team effort, but I want to let you know that we have recorded this educational session and we'll put it out there on YouTube. We did start it a bit late, but the great content, most of the content got recorded, and it'll be something that you can refer your other club members to watch if they have questions and they weren't able to attend tonight. And we will plan to have other club officer training opportunities. While we don't have those dates set yet, it'll likely be in January. It may be early February. However, we have also been posting other district club officer training that's an option if those dates work out, and that way you have a variety to choose from. And one other thing, okay, we had our fall online speech contest that wrapped up November 15th. And guess what? We have the in-person speech contest that you can already be thinking about. Now, the club level contest will start already January 2nd. So you can be dreaming, while you're home in a snow with the snow. You can already be thinking about, well, what kind of speech am I going to do for my club? You have the choice of an international speech or a tall tale speech. Those are the 2 types of speeches that are being offered for the in-person. Now, the club, you can manage how you do that. Do your speech contest. As always, there'll be more information in the Double Dozen and on the website. And then the area, division, and district contests will all be in person. More information to follow. But we have great speech contestants. So we're hoping that you really, lots will get it, will enter. Gary, yes, you have a question?
You said it was international speech, and then what was the other?
Tall Tales.
All tales. Oh, okay.
I
Interesting.
don't know that we've done that one for a while.
Yes,
Okay.
Tall
So-
Tales is a 3 to 5 minute speech
Yes.
that is to be highly exaggerated in nature and should have a twist, some sort of twist at the end. So basically, you have to lie. You have to lie in your tall tale. You have to tell something that's not true.
That's kind of
Okay,
funny.
well, that I think that wraps up our announcements, but definitely I want to give kudos to Rob. You provided a riveting presentation, engagement on how to grow our club. So many options, and you just provided some challenges for us, for every club to perhaps try one thing. Even if you're doing something, just try something new. Make it fun and engaging. Jessica, thank you for your participation as well, and everyone who helped engage into these discussions.